so now let's get into Americus. And I'm going to share my screen. I'm going to put some pictures up here, not those pictures. Not this picture. Where's Americus at? There it is. Okay, good. Perfect. Okay. So Americus is in middle Georgia. So in Georgia, we call it like the middle of Georgia, like middle Georgia, right? That makes sense, right? So Americus is here. Okay, so let me show you kind of where it's at. Okay, this is it. So this is oh, I didn't know there was a university there. Georgia Southwestern State University is there. Okay, so let's scroll out. Let's look at this. Okay, so everybody, if you don't know, we own our facility. Like there's my husband. We have a facility all the way up here. And then we have facilities all the way down in the Panhandle as well, too. So we have 12 facilities all throughout this area. So we're open to anywhere Georgia and in the Panhandle of Florida. Okay. And so this is where our Americus facility is. And we found this one by driving for storage. Oh, no, actually, that's not true. That's not true. This one we found from one of my students. His name is Greg, and he wholesaled it. So he wholesaled it to me. And he's been a long student for like years, 5 years or so. And so he actually called me up and just said, hey, would you be interested in buying this? And so I said, yeah, I'll buy it. And it's a little tiny, it's not a small facility. I'll show you the numbers here in just a second, but this is basically what it looks like. Now let's search nearby and let's go to Miss Lillian's. Let's see what pulls up. Miss Lillian's right here. Okay, so yeah, so you can see there's the Americus facility. There's all of our facilities here. Now, let me see. So yeah, so we call this middle Georgia. Now this one is kind of like stuck out by itself. We own this one right here in Warm Springs. That's an hour and a half right there to get there. We have one in Macon that we're buying. So we might have a little bit of a portfolio here. I mean, essentially, I've told my team, I was like, you've got to find more facilities in between Warm Springs and Americus, really kind of get all up. And so he's really like Nick is really looking and Em is really looking in this area so that we can have a couple of good portfolios. Because, I like to have like a minimum of 3 in an area so that when I do sell, I could sell them as like a mini portfolio, right? Because a little tiny facility of like 50 or 100 units is it's not hard to sell. Somebody will buy it, but you'll make more money if you have 300 units or 250 units like within a certain area, right? So yeah, so that's kind of where we're at. We've looked at facility. We almost bought one over here in the Eastman area, so we're okay. Now remember, this is middle Georgia, so this is like low income area. Not a lot happening here, but the truth is that Americus, if you look at the population of Americus, it really isn't too bad. And the reason why I'm sorry, Americus population. The reason why I bought this facility, it's got 15,000 people. See, it's like stable. It's not like, it's going down. It's been always like 15,000. I was just talking to another student. He was like, I'm looking at this facility. It's in a town of 10,000. He's like, but it's been 10,000 for like, 50 years. Is that a good town? And I was like, why wouldn't it be? I mean, it's not like it's going up or going down. It's just stable. He was like, oh, okay. So that's really how America's always been like 15,000 people. Now I drove over to Americus just to see, because I didn't really know a lot about it. And so I drove over and there was like a lot, like they're redoing the whole, they're redoing this whole highway, like not redoing, but adding more lanes and stuff. And like I came into 30 right here, and this whole area, like they were redoing this and adding more lanes on this like little highway right here. And I was like, man, I guess if they're redoing the highway, there must be a lot of growth going on, right? There must be something going on. And we and I kind of drove around, looked at the area, and it's just like one of those small towns in the middle of Georgia, really is what it is. And the same people have been living there forever, and they own a lot of property, they own a lot of land. That's kind of how it is, you know, in this area. Does anybody, if you think of your area, your state that you live in, can you think of towns like this, right? For me, 15,000 is really not a small town. I mean, it's a good sized town, especially for storage. All right, think about in your state where you live, do you have these types of towns? Because these are really, really good areas to buy in, okay?